If you master DGDG tuning, then you can do fun stuff like this. Hey everybody, it's Matthew. Welcome back to the channel. We are back with the Magic of series where we check out different alternate tunings and what makes them work and all the fun tricks you can use in your playing and your writing to make them work for you. Today we are going to look at another weird tuning, of course, another one from Soundgarden because they've got so many of them. You can make a lot of videos just out of their tunings because they have so many. This is a fun one that only gets used on a couple of songs, New Damage and of course Super Unknown, which is the title track from Super Unknown, which might be a lesser known thing. It's like their only title track that exists, and I feel like it kind of got skipped over a little bit. But anyway, moving into our video today, I just got an amp sim pulled up on my computer for tones today because I already had it set up for recording stuff. Well, actually recording the parts for the little playthrough demo at the beginning of the video that you see that sort of demos the tuning in a kind of real world scenario. But of course, without further ado, we're going to jump into this one here. Am I recording? Yep. Okay. So, DGDG tuning is not that difficult. We of course got our low D here on this string. Then we've got a G. This is a G2, so it's an octave below your normal G string here. So you tune your A down a whole step. And then D again. And then G like normal, and then a B, and that's it for the tuning notes there. I call it DGDG because that's what Kim Thayil calls it. Anyway, there's not really a name for it, that's just what it is, so you just go with the top four like that. You could just, I guess, call it DG tuning. You could also call it G6 tuning because it is tuned basically to a G6 chord if you strum the whole thing out, that's the technical name of it. You can just call it DGDG, though, if you want to. Of course, going into that, we got a pretty basic thing here that tells us that our fingers are going to be in the same position down these whole four strings, so you can just do like this. You can go open 3rd fret, 5th fret, and that's just going to be down your key there, you know, so it'll be like this. So you can do that. That of course segues into your, G minor pentatonic down here, because G minor is a pretty easy tuning to do, or a pretty easy key to be in this tuning, because you have your normal G minor down here. And then the rest of the way down. So you just go back down through the key there. Pretty easy one there. But moving on to the more unique part of this tuning, which is the moving octaves, of course, because you get two sets of these stacked octaves here, where you got your one finger here, your index finger on the fret, and then your middle finger goes 2 strings down because it's tuned to the same note, and you get your octave. Of course, you get these moving octaves here, and you can move them around and keep it in the same shape because of how the tuning works with your Ds and the Gs being in key with each other. Because of course this is our G here to minor third, so you can see how this is an easy key to stay in because between the D and G strings they're basically mirrored what they're doing, so it's going to be the same thing for all of these. So like you're just going to be basically in key as long as you're following the G minor pattern, and it's pretty easy to do. Of course you can have your low D here, which you have access to that low note. And then, but you have your regular power chord though. Your normal shape here, it's not the, one finger one like it would be in drop D, because this is down to G. So you have access to that too, and you have the lower power chord. So it's like you're tuned to D standard there basically, but the fun part is because this is tuned to G, you do get a one finger power chord here if you want it, starting on our low G here. With the octave too if you want it, and if you don't, with the one like this, you can get it to where it's in between, to where the end of your finger is in there and your knuckle is not pressing down on that one. But that might be a little annoying, so you might just want to go with the two finger one here so you don't get unnecessary notes. And that's a pretty simple thing. Of course, if you want your 7 shape, because it is kind of a drop form there, you can do this guy, which is your pinky and your ring finger on G and D here on any fret. We're on the 7th fret, and then your index finger is 2 behind that. It's on the 5th fret of the next G. We get our classic minor 7 chord there, or not a minor 7, it's just a 7 chord because we've got a 5 here. We don't have the third dictating whether we're in a minor or not, but you can, so this is just a 7. Pretty simple there. You can do the same shape here, but that's a 4, so it's a sus7, which, I mean, still sounds cool, but you may not want that. Of course, one of the things I do in the playthrough is this guy here, where we do this 7 form here, but we do not use this second string here, so we keep our pinky off and keep that open as a drone. And as long as you are staying in the shape of the key, you're not gonna go out and play any weird notes, and you've got the nice drone. And then you can move it down here. Actually, yeah, your octave would be here because this is a G and a G. I think, unless I'm a dummy. No, that is how that works. So your octave there, then you move it up, and it's kind of a sus2 sound, right? With the 7 there, and that sounds really nice. And of course, just open strings, generally speaking, sound good in this tuning because you're not going to go out because it's always a G and a D. Although that's the super unknown riff. I, of course, kind of riffed on that a little bit and did this guy here. I played it faster than that in the playthrough, but that's just to give you an idea. So it's just 7th fret here, and then next to this D and G open, 5th fret, this D and G open, and then we go up to this G and D here. So you have those open strings ringing out that you can use as you want. I mean, you can go all the way through those, and it sounds fine. So that's a really nice trick there. You can get a lot of fun open string drones and things like that. It's very cool. And then of course you can just mess around with the pentatonic a bunch, and because you don't have to move your hand around a whole lot. So you could be up here if you wanted to be. And we can go anywhere we want as long as we're in the key form. Yep. So yeah, that's a really convenient thing because you've got the same shape all the way down 4 strings here, so that makes it super easy and convenient. And if you want to go somewhere else, we just, oh wait, I'm going to slide up to where the 7th is here, the minor 7th here, but wait, maybe I want to go back down to where the 3rd is instead, or I want to keep moving that up through the key here. And you can just keep doing that, and you're never going to go out of anywhere as long as it's in G minor. Very important. It could be in D minor too. They share similar notes, but I think they might have one different note there. And yeah, if it's in G minor, you're fine. You can mirror the shape with D minor. You just don't want to play this note here because that's a major 6 for D and the major 3rd for G. So you want to avoid that note. But if it's the same pattern between the two of them, you know, you can basically use the same notes and it's not going to go out of key as long as you're in D or G, and it's going to be good. Things will get complicated if you're not, but that's the point of the tuning, is it's really nice play in 2 keys like that. And of course, the song, the Super Unknown, which uses it, is in G, even though it's got a few weird notes like this one, or like this one. But of course that gets bent, so that does have some weird notes in it, but most of it is G, so that's the kind of real world example of understanding how it's used. But of course, back to the beginning, like we said, the tuning is technically a G6 chord. So if you went through all of them like that, that ends up being a G6 because you have just these guys here as a power chord, basically, yeah, because it alternates between 5ths and 4ths. And then you have the major 3rd that we said before, right? And then the 6th here, which is the E note. So that would be your tuning, the chord that it is basically tuned to. So yeah, you can do all that stuff and really experiment with that. It's very fun tuning because I like switching between the power chord shapes. Okay, that was a little slop, but you know, you get the idea there. You can make some pretty fun riffs doing stuff like that. Of course, the open droning notes. You know, doing any shape with that you want. Very fun to do all those different things, you know, guys. So not a really complicated tuning there. It's a very user-friendly tuning, though, which is what, you know, the good part about it is. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video looking at DGDG or G6 tuning, whichever you might prefer to call it. And like and subscribe. Of course, if you did, don't forget to click the notification bell so you know when a new video is out on the channel. And with that, I will see you guys next time for another one. Happy experimenting and happy playing.